electricity in the air tonight. These players are made for moments like this. Spectacular! Oh, what a shot! Are you not entertained?
It is tournament time for the U.S. women's national team as the Stars and Stripes try and take back their title as She Believes Cup champions. This year's road begins in Music City with the Americans trying to take on Argentina and orchestrate a dominant performance. Welcome to the TNT pregame show from Nashville. Sarah Walsh alongside a Hall of Famer in Shannon Box, a Hall of Famer in Julie Foudy, and a very soon to be Hall of Famer, but someone that is joining us with a much more important title for the very first time, Mom. Becky Sauerbrunn back with us after having a baby boy. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And also, I feel like so much has changed. We're actually sitting at the desk now.
Yeah.
This is where was that when I was
professional?
pregnant?
I know, exactly.
Missed that last year.
Go away for a couple months. Becky, we cleaned this whole act up. But today, it's Argentina, but this is a tournament-like setting. This is going to be 3 games over the course of less than a week, and you don't get those opportunities often, Becky, to be in situations like that. And the United States has to maximize this chance.
It really does. It's like a miniaturized version of what they'll see at qualifiers. And qualifiers is so important. And I don't know, Boxy, if you're still scarred from when we didn't outright qualify for the 2011 World Cup. And it wasn't that we were overlooking competition, just sometimes you have a bad game at the wrong time. And so you really just can't overlook these opportunities to really hone in that pressure, because when you get to a qualification tournament, that pressure heightens and you never know what can happen.
Yeah, and I think there's just that shift that happens from 25 to 26. There's a huge shift, right, of like, there's an urgency now. There's this pace that they want to get at. They're battling for positions now. And so I think you're going to start to see that right now in this first game.
Well, look, Nashville's a party town. Emma Hayes, all business on the pitch, but she has been enjoying every second off of it. Take a look at what her week has looked like. The pride of Camden, England's gone country.
Oh my goodness, what an experience this is going to be. All right, here we go. Yeah, this is what it's about. Oh, I mean, come on, that is quality. You got to have the crests, and that's critical. Harry is always going to be with me, and you can't beat a little bit of a feminine pink with a little bit of gold, you know, a little bit of bling. I've got to hurry up because my horse is outside, and I got to go. Denise, get the horses ready! Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Good luck. Go USA.
Yeah, take care. Thank you guys. Come on, y'all.
We love Emma at all times, but we especially love Emma Hayes when she comes bearing gifts.
Oh, yes.
Pass them on down.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, look at this one, I guess.
Love it.
We are in Nashville, and you have had a time here. And you made your hat, but the coolest thing I think you did, or I saw that you did, look, Garth, Dolly, Carrie Underwood have all been on that. It's not easy to get on the Ryman stage. You were on not the Ryman stage, the Grand Ole Opry.
I mean, that was a bucket list, and as I enter the 50th year, that's one that I can check off as being one of the coolest experiences that I've ever done. I loved every minute about it. I love Nashville, and I love country this week.
How do you even have time to coach when you come to a city?
Do you know what? I just structure well. When we get a day off, we work the morning of it, and then I always, to recover, make it count in the afternoon. I always want to do something cultural. I think it's important to reset, and you don't get much time off in this job. So when you get it, make it count.
You've talked a lot about getting these players exposure in these moments like the She Believes Cup and how important this tournament is to their experiences and getting the entire group to be well prepared for qualifiers in the World Cup. Can you talk a little bit about that and how that is pretty difficult difficult when you're like, I need to get these core players to get minutes together, but I also need to develop.
I've said this many times. We get to play 3 games most international windows, and in Europe they usually play 2. So I think it gives us an opportunity to develop another team within that. What I like about today is there's a little bit of pressure riding on it, and I know that for Lindsay, having to manage that amongst, you know, some inexperience, but then I look across our front line, that's dangerous. These are players that are growing into their position. I think they have the perspective of the last 12 months. I trust them, and I'm looking forward to their performance today.
You're really trying to figure out this algorithm of veteran leadership.
Comes bearing gifts.
Oh, yes.
Pass them on down.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, look at this one, I guess.
Love it.
We are in Nashville, and you have had a time here. And you made your hat.
Yeah.
But the coolest thing I think you did, or I saw that you did, look, Garth, Dolly, Carrie Underwood have all been on that. It's not easy to get on the Ryman stage. You were on not the Ryman stage, the Grand Ole Opry.
I mean, that was a bucket list, and as I enter the 50th year, that's one that I can check off as being one of the coolest experiences that I've ever done. I loved every minute about it. I love Nashville, and I love country this week.
How do you even have time to coach when you come to a city?
Do you know what? I just structure well. When we get a day off, we work the morning of it, and then I always, to recover, make it count in the afternoon. I always want to do something cultural. I think it's important to reset, and you don't get much time off in this job. So when you get it, make it count.
You've talked a lot about getting these players exposure in these moments like the She Believes Cup, and how important this tournament is to their experiences and getting the entire group to be well prepared for qualifiers in the World Cup. Can you talk a little bit about that and how that is pretty difficult when you're like, I need to get these core players to get minutes together, but I also need to develop?
I've said this many times. We get to play 3 games most international windows, and in Europe they usually play 2. So I think it gives us an opportunity to develop another team within that. What I like about today is there's a little bit of pressure riding on it, and I know that for Lindsay, having to manage that amongst, you know, some inexperience, but then I look across our front line, that's dangerous. These are players that are growing into their position. I think they have the perspective of the last 12 months. I trust them, and I'm looking forward to their performance today.
You're really trying to figure out this algorithm of veteran leadership with kind of that middle section of player that has, you know, 30 or so caps with an injection of youth and like excitement. And I'm wondering, when you solve that algorithm, like, what is it going to feel like to you? When do you know you got the answer right?
I feel closer to that. I think I keep saying the same things. To win a World Cup, you need a squad. I think about this team losing Mal Swanson to an injury in 2023. I think about, you know, the emergence of the triple espresso. But you need more depth with more experience. He has 5 substitutes at the highest level. It's important to make it count so that by the time we reach the biggest stage, no pun intended in this place, it's not their first rodeo.
Wow.
Well done. Way to get that in there.
Emma, when you think about the progression of this team from the Olympics, I would argue this is probably your strongest team you've had since the Olympics, a year and a half later. And so when you look at, you have 3 games here, you've got the 3 games against Japan, all excellent games. What are you most excited about in that you're getting closer to what that final squad could look like?
I keep saying to the players, like, you have to squeeze absolutely everything out of every situation we have. So first of all, it's about improving ourselves, bettering ourselves one step at a time. And if we can gain little inches all the time, we get closer to the best version of ourselves. I can only select the players that are available. So players that are unavailable, I can't think about that just yet. I just know I have to get the most out of everybody that's here, knowing that come World Cup qualifiers, the best available players have been well rehearsed into everything we're looking to, including a tournament setting. This is business. We're here to win. They know that. Today is about step 1, setting the whole squad up so that we can go from game 1 into game 2 in a really strong position, but to do it with trust so that these players know that they have something on the line, it matters, and I believe that we can deliver.
Before we let you go, we want to bring in another member of our team, Melissa Ortiz. She's going to be pitch side for the game. She is our resident dancer, Emma, obviously. So she had one final question for you. Melissa, giddy up. Take it away.
I heard there was a rodeo, so I wasn't going to miss out on that party. Emma, last game, Trinity Rodman got you to join in on that goal celebration dance. We are in Nashville. You know, they do the two-step. There's line dancing. Is there potential we might see that out of you today, or have you guys been working on anything in camp?
I've counted how many steps there are behind me into the box up there. Let me be clear. I've been working on my sprints over short distances. I'm going to be bolting.
So
I'm bolting up there. If anyone makes a dash towards me, I'm out of it.
Line dance into the locker room.
We appreciate you joining us, as always. With your, I mean, look at from England Emma to country Emma.
This country has changed me.
Looks good on you.
Nobody has been having more fun than this woman with this job. We appreciate you always. Good luck tonight against Argentina, and we will be with you all week long. We want to take a look at the full roster here. Emma was just talking about the fact that, hey, look, she can only call upon the players that are available. It has been a young squad, but Foudy, a squad that has increasingly closed the gap.
Yeah, and you look at, for example, just rewind to January, and you had an average of 5.5 caps in that starting lineup in that second game. And so you see the difference from January lineup when you didn't have your European players, you didn't have Gotham, they were over at the Championship Cup. So this is a much more experienced roster that gets closer, as I was saying to Emma, to what it will look like as they try and qualify for a World Cup. Still no triple espresso, as we know. Still no Kat Macario. She's out with a heel injury. Taryn Davidson coming back from that ACL injury. And crazy enough, as good as this roster is, you still have 12 players with less than 10 caps on this roster. And that, to me, tells you how good and how deep this team is.
And when I think about that as well, like I saw that, I was like 10 caps, that's it. And you know, we think about Becky, I think you're going to mention this as well, but when I finished, and I finished in 2015, like there are still players that I played with all the way till 2023. And so there is a big gap where of the consistent players, and you're bringing in maybe a couple young players here and there to integrate into the group. But now it feels like they're just building an entire new core of players all at once.
Yeah.
We were at training yesterday, and I was just kind of like looking down the line and being like, I think I only played with 4 or 5 of these players, and I just retired less than a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
By the way, do we think Emma's wearing the hat the whole time? As I was watching, I think she might be.
I think she's fully gone country on us.
Well, why not? This is the 11th year of the She Believes Cup. Here's a look back at the last decade of some tremendous memories, thanks to our Becky Sauer run. She Believes isn't just the name of a tournament. It is a mantra, a mindset.
Over a decade ago, players were sitting in a room talking about what this tournament could become, what we wanted it to stand for. I remember Lauren Holiday saying the word believes, and just like that, we knew. Believe has always been a part of this team's identity. The first She Believes Cup was as competitive as it gets.
4 of the top 5 teams in the world competing. What an absolutely spectacular goal! And the U.S. sweeps the inaugural She Believes Cup.
Each year, the stands got fuller.
You got a sold-out arena.
The lights got brighter.
The atmosphere is electric.
And the target on our backs got bigger.
Stunning victory for France.
It's going to be interesting to see how they react to this loss.
Sometimes a tough result,
Focus tonight, get your head right, get your energy right,
is exactly what you need to ignite the fire within you.
The U.S. become the first team to win back-to-back She Believes Cup trophies.
In 2022, I was getting my 200th cap.
Captain Becky Sauer is one of the most legendary players in U.S. soccer history.
While a young jolt of espresso was making her debut.
Rodman first ever appearance for the U.S. national team.
I remember thinking Mal Swanson was the best player in the world in 2023.
Swanson with a strike!
Everything she touched was magic.
There is no stopping Mallory Swanson right now!
2024, that was the Alyssa Nair show.
The third save in the shootout!
Stopping and scoring on our rivals from the north.
Nair thumps it home, and the stadium erupts!
Last year, I stepped into a new role with TNT only a few months after I hung up the boots. Part of my heart was still on the pitch. A different view, but the same pride. It's hard to believe it's been a decade of She Believes Cups, but it's always been about more than soccer. It's about empowering young girls and women in every facet of life. And our message has been clear since the beginning. Know your worth. Show the world what you're capable of. Believe in yourself.